Hi, my name is Amy, and I'm doing a case presentation on a woman I'm going to call Jane. And Jane is a middle aged woman who has been referred to Elder Services for their hoarding program. After several reports were made to the police by friends and neighbors, she was found to be um, having several health code violations in her house. Neighbors have called several times to say there's trash outside of the house, there's a non working car outside full of papers. So the police finally went out to investigate. On inspection, she had really no walking room to get into the home. The first room in there was the kitchen, and it was full of papers and debris on top of the stove, in the sink, on the counters, on the table. Um, they tried to find her bedroom. The rooms that are in the house, they're all full. You can't discern a bed anywhere. Um, and she's still living in the home that she and her husband had um, bought and raised their children in. So it's a pretty big sized home with all the rooms filled to the brim. Um, the police noted that the house had a odor of cat urine and cat feces, as well as the bathtub having cat hair in it. The There were also several cats in and around the home. Um, so Jane was given several citations, and because of her age, the Elder Services is trying to help her with the situation, and Jane's children were notified and they're concerned. Jane's oldest son owns a home with an in law apartment, and her children feel that maybe it would be better for her to move in there. It's like one bedroom, a kitchen, and a living room, as opposed to the big house that's too large and difficult for Jane to maintain. So they would like Jane to sell the home and move in there. But Jane feels that nobody really understands what's going on. Um, they feel like she feels like her children are trying to displace her from her home. Um, she explains that the items she has are important. Items such as furniture, antique furniture, bank statements, and account records from her husband's business going back over 37 years. The business was a furniture store, which her son now owns. Um, she feels that these uh, these items are important, and she thinks that they all need to be kept. And the therapist is concerned maybe that other people think maybe she needs to go through some stuff and downsize, but she feels that people are just trying to take over her life. So we've had several sessions since this initial session, where she was kind of upset and even angry at the intake therapist, and thought that he was against her too. But after some talking, we realized that a lot of the things she's trying to hold on to are related to her husband, and he died several years ago, and she doesn't want to let him go, and she's tying the significance of the items with her husband, and lots of memories. So one of the things that is important here is we need to um, help clean out the house and make it livable. We need to create at least some usual space in a home that doesn't have any usable space. So over time, I've had some discussions with Jane. Um, Questions have been asked like, what would change look like in your home? And some of the things we came up with that she said was that she would have a bed to sleep in. She will have a kitchen where she can eat or cook, a table to eat at. Um, so, in order to achieve this, we need to create some SMART goals. Um, so, Jane and I have discussed, and we decided that we should um, st- create a small goal for getting her kitchen usable first. So the first goal that Jane will be working on is that she stated and wrote it down was I will box up 2 items a day from the kitchen to be donated to the Boys and Girls Club in 2 weeks time or over the next 2 weeks. This is an small attainable goal that can be measured and realistic. So that's the first goal that we have going on with Jane. After several weeks of meeting with Jane, she was given the diagnosis of hoarding disorder 300.3 F42. She has persistent difficulties discarding a part with her possessions, regardless of actual value. She has this perceived need to save items, and she's having difficulties getting rid of things. She doesn't have any other medical conditions like a brain injury or any other medical conditions that can attribute to her hoarding. And it's not better explained by any other disorders. There was a thought of maybe OCD due to her compulsive need, but it was, clearly thought to be hoarding disorder. Thank you for your time.